What's up, everyone? Welcome into Mikey's Boardroom. I'm Mikey, and tonight we're going to talk about Hoplomachus Victorum. Now, this is a solo game, but I will refrain from making jokes about playing with yourself, even though this game is just as fun as that. It's Chip Theory Games, produced by Chip Theory Games, so of course, production value is insane. Neoprene mats, poker chips, everything is very, very nice. It's a pricey game, so you will pay for it, and you see the value. If you don't know what Hoplomachus Victorum is, it's like a gladiator game where you're going around these different regions on the world map, and in each of these spaces, there's an event that happens, and usually it's an event where you fight. So it's either a bloodshed event where the goal is to kill everybody, or it's a sporting event where it could be King of the Hill, captures a flag, or a spar where there's one person you're not supposed to kill. So the events kind of change up, and then on top of that, each region has a different map with its own special little rules. There are a bunch of different troops that you'll be recruiting and also fighting against as you play. They all have different special abilities, so there's a lot of different. That's really where the complexity comes. It's not a super complex game, but the complexity really comes from the different abilities that all the troops have. So let's jump into my 5 favorite things about the game, or 5 things I'm liking so far. I've played through 2 campaigns as of now, and I'm going to dive back into it as soon as I can. 5 things I like. 1 thing that I don't like about it. First thing, number one, I love the tactical skirmishes that this game gives you, which is basically what the game is. So it's a good thing that it's fun, but they are very, very fun. You're moving your heroes and your allies around, and the enemies have a very specific rule set that you're falling off of the card based on the arena. And so they do very specific things and go for specific people, and they're always trying to get the upper hand on you. It works very well, and the decisions you have to make, it's very tactical, and the skirmishes are very fun. They're quick, and there's a lot of them. So they're very punchy and feels really, really fun, and they're not easy. It's not just an easy game. So that's my first thing that I'm really, really loving about this game. The next one is the component quality. If you're familiar with chip theory, this is not a surprise, but everything is extremely well made. I already said that. Neoprene mats, poker chips, this stand, the cards are all PVC, so extremely nice. $150 game, a little cheaper if you got it on Kickstarter, but $150 game, and it's not a surprise once you get it out and you see it. It looks like a $150 game for sure. So I like the component quality. The next thing I really like is upgrading my hero. You get your little hero, you start a little campaign sheet, you get health and leadership and a certain amount of attack die. A lot of dice rolling in this game. That's basically the main mechanic, the main mechanism of attack. I love upgrading my hero though. Completing the different events, depending on the event type, will get you different things. And so you can upgrade your health, upgrade your attack die. And then on top of that, there's also opportunity cards, which give you quests to work towards achieving, and as you achieve them, you get to do different things like get even more upgrades, class-specific upgrades or special upgrades. You can also get special. You can recruit allies to your camp and use them on your team in skirmishes, and those allies are better than the ones you can get otherwise included in the other faction. So I really like all the upgrades and how you kind of build over the course of the campaign. You build up your hero, you build up your team, you build up your camp. You're getting tactics chips, so the different tactics that you can use to stun an enemy or give yourself extra health during combat. So you're building up your team, you're building up your roster, and upgrading your hero kind of the way you see fit and to go around your play style. So that part is a lot of fun. The next thing I really like are the puzzles that this game presents. Everything is a puzzle. Where you're going to move, the different arenas provide different puzzles. The way tactics and enemies are laid out is you can see exactly what enemies are coming next. Let me move this. I just messed everything up. The way it's laid out is you can see exactly what enemies are coming next. You can see their health they're going to bring, the die. You know how they're going to behave based on the arena. You also can see the different tactics that they're going to be playing. You know that, hey, once I recruit this guy, he's going to get stunned next game or next turn. He's not going to be useful this next turn at all, so I better get him out because I'm going to need him soon. I don't know. So everything every part of this game presents a puzzle, and each puzzle is really fun, and it always feels like there's a way to do what you need. If you can kind of like look at there and think, and like if there's enemies on the board and you're starting to feel surrounded, and you have one troop left that you can deploy and one troop on your side still, and your hero's getting low. Like it feels like if you kind of think it through and look ahead and think long enough that not always, but sometimes it feels like you can always kind of at least make a fight for it, and at least figure something out where you can kind of survive maybe one more turn, just one more turn, and then sometimes get the advantage and win after all. So really, really fun. Every aspect's a puzzle, and the puzzles are all very fun. And finally, the last thing I really like about this game, the arena maps and all the different abilities they bring, or different ways they change the game up. This one right here, I forget what region this is for, but there's basically steps, and so you think of it as getting higher and higher ground. And so the way this works is if you're attacking somebody on the lower tier, you get an extra gray attack dice, which is 5 out of 6 sides. So basically almost like a free hit. So everybody's trying to get to these 2 spots right here, so that everybody's below them. And when you're playing King of the Hill, these are the 2 king spots that you're trying to, you're trying to capture. And if you're playing capture the flag's over here, you got to get over and get back. So that's just this one though. Over here, okay, so this is Atlantis. So on this map, there's a trident in the middle, and the goal of people is going to be, the goal of the opponent is get the trident. And so you're trying to get the trident too, and if you have the trident, you can attack anybody anywhere on the map and deal 2 damage to them, and natives, the Atlanteans, if they get it, they deal 3 damage. So the skirmishes and the capture the flags and the goals all kind of revolve around getting that chip, and sort of you're always kind of keeping things in mind. So there's other ones like the Amazonias. They have these chips that what are they? They have 4 of these chips that sit on the map, and they move after every player turn. So first they'll move like this, and then you can't get through those, like kind of creates, and then they'll move like that. And then as you're playing, if people start getting in the way, these ones will still continue, but these will just turn around and go back the other way. So then you start getting all these ways where the King of the Hill hexes are in the middle, and everybody's trying to get to the middle. The enemy AI says get to the middle. And so you're trying to think ahead with all the things going on, but then these are constantly moving around and shifting, and they push people too. I kind of messed that up. If they're against the wall, they'll turn around and go back. But if they're here, they'll push the person. And then once they can't push anymore, then they'll go back. So people are shifting, the wall, the arena's sort of shifting. So I really like all the different arenas. That's probably my favorite thing, is just because, I don't know, just changes things up, and it makes me like, man, I want to go here. I want to go to this region. I don't know. I really like the arena maps and the different, like I said, the ways they change it up. Should I say it one more time? I like the arena maps, and I really like how they change it up. All right, that's all the things I like. So let's talk about my big disappointment for this game. I really wish that there was a way to mitigate your dice rolls, or to re-roll specifically. I want to be able to re-roll, because when I make a roll, and I roll some terrible rolls where the odds are in my favor and I still do terribly. And so I want to be able, and when you're like down to 1 health and it's the last guy, and I like the odds are in my favor, I'm like rolling, this, and I'm like, okay, I just need 2 hits. Boom, and then it comes up, I get 1 hit or no hits, and I just wish that there was some ways to re-roll sometimes. And there are blessings. They say in the rulebook how you mitigate poor dice is by using your blessings. But what that does is when you die, you cross off a blessing and go back to full health. And then when you're out of blessings, if you die, you lose the campaign. So it does sort of mitigate poor rolls, but I wish there was it feels indirect. It feels indirect. I wish that there was a way to directly re-roll 1 or 2 dice. Not often. I maybe when you complete a sporting event, instead of gaining a tactic or recruiting an opponent, maybe instead of doing either of those, you could choose to gain a little boon that lets you re-roll 1 dice whenever you want. I don't know. Probably not. That's probably a bad idea. But maybe I'm salty. I guess I'm just salty. It's a really fun game, but I wish you could re-roll just a little bit, just every once in a while. Really, really rarely. I wish you could re-roll 1 or 2 dice. That's basically it. I wish the rulebook had an index, and I wish that there was more narrative story in the campaign. I wish there was some story after you beat the final boss, the Scion. There's a little snippet depending on what hero you are, and it's like he plunged his sword and there was blood and he stood up victorious. But I wish there was a little more narrative, and depending on who you had in your camp, there's a little stuff that could happen. But that would also add a lot, where this game is very quick, punchy, Skirmishes, which is kind of what makes it what it is. So I don't know what I'm talking about. So on that, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of Victorum. Have you played it? Are you going to get it? Have you played other chip theory games? Now that this is my first chip theory game, and now that I have it, I want more. I want a lot more. I want all of them. So let me know what's good. Let me know if you played it all. Otherwise, go out there, show kindness, and go watch Spartacus. It's fun like a big puddle of mud, and gets better as you take your clothes off. It's fun. It's fun like fixing your Jones. It's fun like bullying. It's fun. It's fun like sitting naked on a big pile of tomatoes. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun like the word plop. I mean, do we really need neoprene and chips? Like, can we just push around sticks?